Hi everyone, and welcome to Kinship Tutorials. Today we're looking at creating adaptive geometry in Revit. These can be seen in most of our work and content. So, as an example, let's look at how we would make this Occo bar stool from Wilkin. First of all, we need to create a new family. We do this using the generic model adaptive template. Once we have that open, first thing we need to do is import the reference file that we want to trace from. In this case, it's a DWG file from the manufacturer. One thing to note when you're importing a DWG file in particular is the units that you're importing with. They would need to match the original settings of the DWG. And in some cases, when this is just set to like auto correct or automatic units, it doesn't bring it in right, and then you won't be able to see it. It'll be the smallest DWG in the world, basically, and so small you can't see it. So yeah, so it's always good to check it, do it manually. Generally it will either be millimeters or meters. So once that's in, we then position the DWG to be in the center, and then there we go. There's our DWG block in 3D view. The basic premise of these models is that we need a series of reference and model lines which are tracing the profile of the DWG block. And we need them in order to create the Revit form. So we start by placing reference planes on the far left, and where you think you're going to need a profile line. Generally, this would be where there's a lot of curvature to the model. Our first profile will go on the center left right plane. So we cut a thin section through this plane. Make sure you select the correct work plane when you start to draw the line. We always use reference lines, which we will get into why on a follow-up video when we do tips and tricks. But we pick the first spline button and we start picking the points following the edge of the DWG. And then just shimmy this into position using the nodes. And there's our first profile line in 3D view. Now we draw our second reference plane and we name it A. Grab the first profile line we made and copy and paste it to the same place. And then change the work plane of this from the center left right to our new reference plane that we named A. And then we move the section box to cut the reference plane A and open the section. Now we just amend the profile line to match the DWG, and boom, there's our second profile line done. We basically repeat this process as we move through the DWG block, and we end up with the set of profile lines that go from left to right. That go from the left to the center of the model. And then we grab all these profile lines that we've made, and all we have to do is just mirror these about the center left-right plane, so it's symmetrical basically. And now we select all of these profile lines, and then we say create form, and there we have our finished seat in adaptive Revit geometry, and that's how you do it.